Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
I'm gonna show you how great I am.
How you guys doing? In this one, we're going to talk about originality in terms of public speaking. And most of the times, we have people, when they start giving speeches, they like to imitate another person to such an extent that they lose their own originality. And someone once said to me that I would rather fail in originality than succeed in a full-on imitation, because you're losing the essence of who it is that you actually are. And also, in terms of originality, it also just be sure that people want to connect with who it is that you are. They don't want a caricature, they don't want a character, they want exactly who it is that you are. So you need to be comfortable in your own skin, and when you're out there giving a presentation, be original. Because in this day and age of social media and YouTube, it's very difficult for you to steal another person's content without another person finding out, like, hey, this guy actually stole someone else's content, and they're not crediting that person for the borrowing and the use of the content. So we want, as an audience, we want to be able to relate to the person who's speaking. If you were to look in terms of superheroes, Batman versus Superman, why Batman is the better hero, in my opinion and a number of people's opinion, is that Batman versus Superman, Batman is more of a relatable character. He's human, he can get hurt, he can lose, he has been beaten, versus Superman, who is a godlike figure. And the basic premise of Superman is that he has no limits, he has no weaknesses, and it's difficult for a normal human being to be able to relate to a person who comes across as a god. And one person said to me that if you come across as inauthentic and you come across as perfect, the person is not going to be able to connect with you. So here are some tips that you can use for you to succeed at originality. Share your first. What is it the first time you ever did something? The very first time I stood up to give a presentation, I told people this when I was in grade 4. I stood up to give a presentation, my mind sat down, and my teacher said to me, you know, Njibula, I don't think you're quite good at this thing. Go think about doing something else. And then I went to my sister and I said, yo sis, this is what happened. And then she coached me and trained me to start giving better presentations, and then my speaking improved. But I tell people this is that you're not going to start off as perfect. So always share the first time you ever did something. Another thing is share your faults. Where is it that you are imperfect? For me, I'm deaf in my left ear. I live in Benoni. I stay with my 2 roommates, mom and dad. I'm definitely not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. And also, one of the things that I love about Kevin Hart is that self-deprecating humor. One of the things that he would say in his stand-up comedy sets, he would always say, like, hey, look, listen, I'm small, I get scared fast. He always makes fun of himself. So share your faults. Another thing is to share your failures. Where is it that you failed and you failed miserably? If you're able to share where is it that you failed, you're going to come across more authentic and more relatable. And also share who your heroes are and who what your favorite activities are. It's not a secret to other people that I grew up watching Eddie Murphy, Bernie Macs, Chris Rocks, your Kevin Hart's, your Trevor Noah's. I absolutely love comedians like that. And nowadays, in terms of personal development, you've got your Jim Rohns, you've got your Tony Robbins, you've got your Bob Proctors, you've got your Robin Sharmas, your Robin Banks, you've got your great speakers in this country as well. Those are some of the heroes that I have. And also share what your favorite activities are, because if you were able to do that, you'll be like, hey, this guy is actually human, he's able to share. So try your best to not come across as a god in front of people, have this superiority complex, and because if you start doing that, you create a barrier between yourself and your audience. So do your best to be original, to be authentic, and if you've learned from someone and you've drawn inspiration from another person, always be sure to credit them. So be sure to share your faults, your failures, as well as who your heroes are and your favorite activities, and then you'll be better set off in terms of originality. And remember that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
can be the day that turns your life around. All you need is a reason that turns you on. Today, my life changes. Now, who can do that? Anybody. When can you do it? Whatever day you pick.